The carnival's ticket booth lights still flicker long after the last guest has gone home, casting a weak, uncertain glow into the dead of night. Strange, isn't it? Especially since the power to this abandoned lot was cut years ago. But those eerie lights, they call out to the curious, the brave, or the foolish. And one night, they called out to a young man named Leo. Drawn by the inexplicable glow, Leo found himself standing before the dilapidated booth. The paint was peeling, the wood was rotting, but inside, bathed in that phantom light, sat a girl. She wore a faded, old-fashioned uniform, and a wide, unblinking smile was plastered across her face. Her voice, when it came, was like the rustle of dry leaves. "One ticket?" she asked, her gaze fixed on him. Hesitantly, Leo reached into his pocket and pulled out a single tarnished coin. He slid it through the small opening. As he did, he noticed her eyes. They were dark, vacant, and they never blinked. Not once. She took the coin, and her fingers brushed against his. A shock of cold, like a plunge into icy water, shot up his arm. Her hand was frigid, unnaturally so, like that of a corpse. She then slid a small, ornate ticket back to him. Leo's eyes dropped to the piece of paper in his hand. The lettering was elaborate, almost gothic. It read, "Admit one to the dead show." A shiver of pure dread traced its way down his spine. His head snapped up to question her, to demand what this meant. But the booth was empty. The girl was gone, vanished into thin air. But then he caught a flicker of movement, not inside the booth, but on the surface of the grimy glass panel in front of him. His own reflection stared back, but he wasn't alone. Standing right behind his reflected self was the ticket girl. Her image was superimposed over his, and on her face was that same wide, chilling, unblinking smile. He spun around, his heart hammering against his ribs. Nothing. The space behind him was empty. He looked back at the glass, and she was still there, a ghostly passenger to his own reflection, forever smiling. The experience haunted Leo. He couldn't sleep, couldn't eat. The image of the smiling girl was burned into his mind. He had to know if it was real. So, the very next night, against his better judgment, he returned to the cursed carnival grounds. The booth was there, just as he'd left it, its lights flickering like a dying heartbeat. But as he got closer, he realized something was terribly wrong. Someone was inside the booth. It wasn't the girl. The figure inside wore his clothes, had his hair, his face. It was his own reflection. But it was moving on its own, sitting stiffly on the stool, its face locked in a wide, horrifying smile. And from the darkness outside the booth, Leo heard a soft, familiar whisper right beside his ear, like rustling leaves. One ticket. He had bought his admission to the dead show, and now his reflection had taken the ticket girl's place, forever bound to the cursed booth, waiting for the next curious soul to be drawn in by the phantom lights. If this story gave you goosebumps, make sure you hit that follow and subscribe button for more spine-tingling horror tales from the cursed carnival and beyond. Thank you for watching.